Hi guys, welcome to a new episode of Sneak Peek. So I'm David.
And I'm Brian. And for today's episode, we're gonna talk about something more serious. So the show flow will be changed a little bit, and we're gonna start off with the topic of the day first. Last night we received tragic news that Virgil Abloh, founder of Off-White, has passed on at the age of 41, battling privately very aggressive form of cancer. Now, we don't have to react to this, but Off-White has been a big part of most of our sneaker games, especially the start of it. I think I mentioned in my video once or twice that actually the 10 collection in 2017 actually kickstarted my whole interest in collection. So over the years, I have had a pair from Virgil. I really liked it, and today I'm actually wearing my Zoomflies, yeah. Pair that actually started it off all for me. Okay, my first ever pair of Off-Whites.
So, like Brian, I found out about it, and obviously at first you won't really want to believe it lah, because sometimes people post this kind of fake news, but after reading a bit more and then realizing that it's true, it starts to set in lah that oh wow, like he's actually gone lah. And I think like what Brian mentioned, he's plays a significant role in a lot of like sneakerheads, especially nowadays, because Off-White Nike is arguably one of the biggest collabs for sneaker in sneaker history lah. So I think he definitely impacted all of us greatly lah.
So yeah, we're gonna make this video a little bit as a tribute to him from us, our own personal experiences with the brand and the man himself. So we're just going to briefly go through what Virgil did in his time here. For us, sneaker fans, we will definitely know about his collabs, but his dabbling in fashion actually goes a long way back, for those that didn't know. So Virgil is a very good friend of Kanye West. In the start of his career, he was made the creative director of Donda, which is the creative agency, fashion agency of Kanye West, and he first started this brand called Pyrex Vision.
Oh yes,
I think we all know that brand vaguely. Pyrex Vision started by putting on very loud designs with Pyrex on it, and it then progressed into like a luxe fashion brand, renamed to Off-White for menswear first, which then included women's wear. He was very creative. He just didn't care about what other people thought. He just wanted to express himself through his garments, and therefore the very iconic XX arrow, Off-White X arrow that you see on the designs of the shirts, that became very popular. Then came 2017, he had a huge collab with Nike, and he made the zip tie thing,
the deconstructed look, all these thing popular.
So we had two packs of the original 10s. We have the ghosting pack, and there's another, I'm not sure what it's called, but one is basically translucent, one is redone, and then one is with all the raw materials. Okay, and he made wearing zip ties cool on shoes. His iconic. I used to wear, and some people would diss me for it, but to those people I say you now. I think his intention, I think it was like, you can take a zip tie and just go and put it on any other shoes, other designs, and make it cool, and make it have that Off-White flares. That became his signature look. So all his shoes, and that was the beginning of something good lah. So in the last 5 years, he's been churning out a lot of different Off-White ones, this and that. So sadly he's gone now. I didn't get to meet him.
Me too.
We're gonna talk a bit about what are the implications of his passing. So unfortunately, similar to the Kobe's, when he passed away, his shoes spiked in value.
Yes.
Okay, so
especially things like maybe the more OGs ones, like the 10s,
originals,
especially the Chicago ones. Especially. Yeah.
So when David told me first, I checked StockX. He was transacting at about 5,000 to 6,000 USD, and as of now, time recording, it is about 12,000 USD for a brand new pair, and it goes to show how much significance he has had, on the sneaker market. People actually want to have a part of his legacy.
Correct. And especially his most iconic sneaker which is the Chicago ones.
Obviously, with the passing of Virgil, people are trying. There will definitely be opportunists who try to make a quick flip, because, and rightfully so, because money really makes the world go around, and people find that now it's time to hoard his stuff and then resell at higher prices. And then those people that really want a part of his legacy is gonna pay a bit more. But that's just the nature of reselling, I guess. We have put all Off-White shoes off RX for the next few days until the prices stabilize. For me, I just hope his legacy stays on, and his legacy will stay on.
Yes.
For sure. I'm very confident that people will still be looking for off-white sneakers. People are going to still rock off-white sneakers. People are still going to look at them at like grails. It's sorry something that really changed, pivoted the whole ecosystem of collabs and streetwear sneakers alike.
Which brings on the question which a lot of people are asking, whether there's gonna be a replacement. So basically, whether it's someone from Off-White taking over maybe the creative power to collab with Nike, to maybe churn out more Nike Off-White sneakers lah.
Or has Virgil already appointed beforehand a successor, and also given him some of the designs that we can possibly see. He has already planned for the future. I mean, Virgil is a planner, so he released the 50 dunks, you know. I'm sure he has a lot of things under his sleeve that he doesn't want to reveal yet. But the recent collection was the Air Jordan 2. So hopefully we get to see more of those. Hopefully he has a long list planned out for us, and for us to continue to enjoy his work even though he's physically not here with us anymore. With that, we're going to move on to the second segment of the show, and we're actually going to review a pair of sneakers. In fact, the most iconic sneaker that started it all for us.
Yes.
So, we have the Air Jordan 1 Off-White in the Chicago colorway. This pair is worn lah. Okay, it's from Ethan's dad, so shout out Ethan's dad. So off the bat, this Air Jordan 1, when it first came to the market, I still remember it was crazy.
Yes.
Because no one was given the ability to actually do or change a OG Chicago colorway Air Jordan 1 high that much, like what Virgil did. So obviously he has added a lot of that deconstructed look to the shoe. As you can see here, his iconic swoosh, big swoosh that is actually sewed on with the threads being another color, and as with the orange color tab here.
And if you can see from the rest of the shoe, there's a lot of parts that are made purposely like incomplete look with this like extra flaps here and there that is not laced up properly, and obviously the tongue and the ankle area being like a cut off deconstructed cut off for that bit of rugged look. That's why I think this pair looks better worn actually. After you beat it up, actually it gives it more character, and it really just makes the whole shoe like look nicer in my opinion But I do know some people who actually prefer it like clean
So now something that is very significant is that with the first iteration of this, the toe box is actually made of the very raw foam material, which causes a lot of like problems with the shoe, especially if you are very OCD, because sometimes I know of people that people drop a cigarette, they burn a hole into this. It can tear with a lot of wear, and the thing is these parts oxidize very easily, so it becomes a very yellow, sort of an off-white, you know, if you see. Virgil recently came out and actually say hey, it is meant to be like that.
Yes, actually.
He made it like that for it to be worn in, for it to oxidize and have that little yellow vibe to it, like vintage vibe to it. And of course, not forgetting his very prominent and signature quotation marks, Air on the side, as well as inner side of the shoe. You have the off-white text here.
And also another iconic point that Brian brought up just now, which is his stack this stack that everybody was chasing for.
Let's not forget about the basics, the shoelaces once again. It has that quotation mark shoelaces on the laces, which we've seen in a lot of off-white sneakers as well. Yeah, he puts his touch on the shoe, and people really just love it.
Because it's not often that when you redo an OG colorway that people actually like it. A lot of times if you let's say even if you mess up a little bit, right, all the OG sneakerheads will go ham on you, will really like trash on your brand and trash on the designer But the fact that he actually made it such an iconic sneaker, I think one of the really most iconic sneaker that of this century, I feel to me
Yes, for sure, man.
For sure That's why this is really something special and to be able to have it in hand now, it's pretty cool.
So point to note, Virgil shortly became a creative director of LV as well, and he actually put a lot of his own personal flair in the LV products as well. So moving on for something like that is street lux to something that is full on lux, I think that's pretty cool. So like I said, the orange iconic orange tab here, he actually put it in some of his releases. So for example, he had the LV trunks with like an orange chain. So it really speaks Virgil. You know, when he speaks Off-White, he speaks Virgil, and that's really cool.
And I think he definitely played a big part in getting a collab with Nike lah, because you know there were rumored pairs of LV Nike Air Force Ones coming out, but now I'm not too sure about it lah. But yeah, he probably managed to hook LV up with the collab with Nike lah.
Having this on hand right here really is quite emotional because he has only started this 4 years ago and now he's gone. So it's really a big shock for the whole industry as well. People that really follow him, people that have loved his designs and his influence on sneaker culture. It's really gone too soon. I really find that it's really too soon. But however, life is like that. You may never know. I don't know what to look out for the future for Off-White and his collabs with Nike. But I really, really hope that it carries on with what he hopefully has left behind. A bit of his creative take on future releases.
I think there will definitely be a chance because previously he has actually, he had a gallery where he showed some of the sample pairs of like Off-White Nike.
Yes.
For example, like he have things like the Brad Jordan 4's Off-White version, so things like that maybe, and Canary Jordan 1s. So maybe things like that might release in the future.
Yeah.
Might. Yeah.
I just cannot believe. I still cannot take it in. I cannot believe he's gone. Especially because he was the one that started it all for me personally lah. And I'm sure many of you guys as well. And let's just hope his legacy stays on. He'll be forever in our hearts. Rest in peace, Virgil.
Rest in peace.
But life is so short that you can't waste even a day subscribing to what someone thinks you can do versus knowing what you can do.